Hey everyone, happy Mother's Day. So I decided to do the twin to my wine glass that I showed on social media the other day, which was this one, because all of us lovely ladies out there, whether we're fur babies, scalies, or feather, or we actually have little bibs running around, sometimes we need to have a glass of wine or whatever ails us. But, so, just because I had nothing else better to do, I decided to come up with this Create Me videos. This is a Create With Me number 7. And I'm going to go through the exact process that I use to make this class, and where you can get your materials, and how cost effective it actually is. So, now I'm not using ceramic paint, I'm actually using acrylic, but I'll explain my process. So as you can see here, there's a little bit of a line up here, and that's so, like, you know, when you go to put it to your mouth, it's not completely on the paint. So basically what I did to start with, and I started doing it, is that I took white acrylic paint, and it's the Deco Art that you get from the dollar store, which is about $1.25, and I put a very thin white coat around it. But as you can see up here, there's actually some green tape. This is painter's tape, and I got that from the dollar store, which is this stuff right here. So what I did with this is that I tried to make a straight enough line, as straight as I could do around here, and then you just kind of shove the rest of the tape on the inside. Now, another way you can do this, before I get too much into the painting part of it, is that if you don't want to paint your glass, you could always go online, excuse me, and print off, say, any kind of saying or any kind of picture that you want, because glass is technically clear when you get it. As long as the image that you're getting is black and it's dark, you can actually take that, roll it up, and put it on the inside of the glass, so you'll be able to see your image on the inside, and you can just kind of trace over that image on the outside of the glass with either a Bic marker, which is what I am very much renowned with. You can get these at the dollar store too. They're the Bic marking markers. You can get them at the dollar store, or you can get them pretty much at Walmart or any other place like that. They're like my favorite permanent marker. Sharpies are really good, but I find with certain things, Sharpies don't work as well. But anything I've done collectively, I've found the Bic works for quite a bit of the stuff I do. Also for like my shrinky dinks, they work well with the shrinky dinks. They work well on the ceramic. They work well on glass. They work well on just your paper and everything else like that. But I find the Sharpies, they run, and it's almost like using a washable marker on a piece of like plastic sheet. It doesn't stay. So with that, this first coat that I made was dry. So basically what I'm doing is I'm coating it in white paint. And then after I coat it in white paint and I get it as white and as like solid as I want it, what I do is I actually put a moderate coat of what they call Mod Podge on it. And you can get this small bottle at the dollar store as well. But this dollar store bottle is about $1.50, and it's actually significantly smaller than the paint, as you can see here. So if you are just trying to start it with doing a few of these things, it's always good to start small. Then if you find that you're going to use this for more than one thing, you can either pick up multiple bottles or go to Walmart. I think for $8 you can get the bottle that's like about this big, and it's about this wide in the top. Now, acrylic is not usually made for glass, but I'm working with limited quantities of supplies, so this is the best way I found to do this. Also, based on what I know, between the supplies, your Mod Podge, your paint, your paintbrushes, your painter's tape, about $12 to do this entire craft, and that will actually give you the 2 glasses to go along with it. Now, you can put any design on it that you absolutely want, but I decided, because with the pandemic and everyone is dealing with the social distancing, and there's this new hashtag called Stay the Blazes Home, that's kind of what I did here, and I did it with my own writing. It says Stay the Blazes, and the home part of it is actually the little house that you can see in behind the writing. You can't see the yellow for the roof very well because my computer's not that great at picking up that yellow. Maybe you can see it there, see? So that's what I did, and you can either freehand the writing onto it, or you can reference something online, or actually create one yourself in a font generator, and instead of painting it white, just use that font generator to write whatever writing that you want on it, print it off, put it inside the cup, and trace over it, like I said earlier. So again, the colors that I'm using is I'm using my black Sharpie pen. Now, when this is not Mod Podged, I find the Sharpie will stick to the acrylic paint. If it's already Mod Podged and dried, it will end up acting like writing a Sharpie on a piece of plastic sheet, or that sheet where it's like a plastic cover you put your paper inside. It acts like that, and it will either just rub right off or it won't stay. So you also want to watch that, because if you put your hand down on it, it's not going to be dry right away and you're going to get it all over your hands. So this time I'm actually going to be doing the black part on the white once the second coat of acrylic dries. So then what you're going to do is that I decided to use the blue, red, and yellow colors because we're in Nova Scotia and we're all Nova Scotia strong down here. So that's what I did. So this is what I'm going to do is I'm going to start doing the second coat. Now I'll make you guys aware that unfortunately, because something like that does have a certain amount of drying time, it is unlikely that I'm going to be able to sit on here and do this whole video with you on camera to see how you make the wine glass. Now, I will have the completed set shown on my Facebook when it's completely done. So then you could see the twins. So basically what you're going to do, again, I'll go over my instructions, is the first thing you're going to do is you're going to tape off your glass. And you're going to tape it off to where you want it taped. So then that way you have that little lip at the top if you want to. Otherwise you can go straight to the top. That's completely up to you. You are going to have to probably give it about 22 minutes to a half an hour in between each coat. Now, you don't necessarily have to do a white coat. I was potentially thinking about making a black cup to go with the white one and then making the white writing, but I just decided that I would go with the white to keep it all the same. So you can see exactly how I'm doing this, because you may not necessarily have black paint, so that's why I'm doing it this way. So again, I put a second coat onto here. And as you can see, there's going to be some sections that seem like they're lighter than others. You can either touch those up on your own, or you can just leave it the way it is. You know, create your own character to it. And there's one little wonderful thing that I've seen going on in Nova Scotia. I'm not too sure if you guys are aware, but they're called fairies, and they can either come and just pay it forward and drop something off for your children, or there's a few that, you know, to do with the devil's lettuce, or to do with, you know, wine, or, you know, a little bit of spirits. And basically people pay it forward and everyone kind of gets a little uplift and everything else like that, which I thought was really great. So that's why I said this wine glass thing would be great for that, because you might get ferried, as it's called, and then you'll have a wine glass to drink your drinks in. So that is what I'm going to do for that one. Now I'm going to let that dry. So this looks really weird, but I'm trying to dry the acrylic. So, as a Mother's Day 2020, I hope all you moms are getting whatever snuggles and loving that you need, either from your fur children, your feather children, your scaly children, or even just your babes. Because we all need love. Or maybe you got to sleep in today. You never know. Or maybe you got breakfast in bed, or, you know, a coffee or tea, or whatever it is that you drink. Now this is still wet, like I said, so it's probably not going to be dry for me to move forward. So once this is dry enough and you have enough of a coat on it that you want, what you're then going to do is you're going to draw freehand whatever it is that you want to be on the glass. So as I did with this one, I did the Stay the Blazes Home. Oh, my hand's over it. Stay the blazes home. And then once this is done, what you're going to do is you're going to put at least 1 to 2 coats of Mod Podge over the entire thing. So what that's going to do is it's going to give it a nice glossy coat, but it's also going to seal everything in. Now, I don't know if anyone was going to ask, but I'll state this beforehand. This is very brand new to me, so I'm not too sure if you put it in the water to be washed, if it's going to wash off or anything like that. So what I highly suggest is to be very careful and hand wash it, so you can get a little bit more life out of your creation and it's not just a one-time thing. Again, I use the Bic marking markers, and so the ones that I used on this earlier in the week, the color is Deep Sea Blue, Rambunctious Red, and Lemon Bliss is the 3 colors that I used. Now, this is not limited to just the idea that I came up with. It is only limited per what your imagination will come up with. And with there's children, hell, you can get your kids to come say, what do you think I should draw? And if you're lucky, they might tell you a purple elephant or a green alligator. Who knows? But that is legit for Create With Me number 7. I would continue and show you how this works a little bit longer, but because where there is drying time involved, I'm not going to be able to do the whole video in front of the screen. But I will definitely put up the twin glasses on my social media for my Facebook, so then that way anyone that watches my videos that is currently on my Facebook as well will see the twin set. So I hope this kind of gives you guys a little bit of an idea of a craft to do. You can also do it with like regular beer steins, or if you have like a kid's glass, you could technically do it with that as well. I don't have any of those right now, so then that way I can't actually show you how that works either. Or I could do one on a kid's glass, or I could do one on a beer stein. I don't have either one of those right now. I just had the wine glasses, so that is what I'm using. So thanks for watching this with me, guys, and you have yourself a great night, and happy Mother's Day 2020.